here it is, the web dev roadmap. So how do we start with web development? So I would like you to do a thing. Just get your pens and paper ready and just get started with me. Rave this side and talking to you feels so good. Yeah, so let's start. So yeah, so let me give you the session outline. I haven't prepared anything, so if I get stuttered anywhere, so just bear with me, but I'll explain you. So the session goes like internet. First, we'll talk what is internet, which you guys already know. Then coming on, we'll talk about the request response cycle, which is really, really important in node development. Then coming on to the next topic, which is front end versus back end, which is the building block of the whole web page, whatever you see. Then we'll talk about the front end, Trinity. We call it a Trinity. Trinity is a holy word, right? So yeah, it consists of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then finally, we'll talk about setting up your PC, how to install VS Code. And at last, but not the least, I'll be sending you some cool resources through which you can just get started without my help. But yeah, you'll be needing my help, so just be in contact. So yeah, let's talk about the internet in a couple of minutes. What is it? What is internet? Okay, so to be really honest, internet is just global network of networks. Oh, it seems to be a daunting word, but you know what? We could have just made that into a very good presentation and could explain you in a really good way. So let's get started. So I see two computers are here, like they're just thrown away in the universe, like planets or asteroid or anything. They have no connections among them, but they're just thrown away like random pieces out there, like atoms and molecules. Then going on, I want the two planets or two asteroids to connect with each other. I want them to call, or I want them to talk, or I want to build an internet, or I want to bring up an internal connection between them. So yeah, how does it happen? Whenever we connect computers, whenever we connect on a global scale, if you see, network comes from a word which is like, connecting people together. So internet is nothing but could be very easily explained as connection of computers and multiple computers. And how will this connection happen? Let's get started and let's try to understand. So yeah, starting with the first thing, then you can already see there are two computers here which is getting connected, and there's a green line denoting the connection. And how the connection is happening, I'll be just talking about in a later part of the presentation. So yeah, now you are seeing multiple computers are getting connected to each other. I'm just trying to show you how things are getting connected on a multitude level. There is no direct stream of things getting connected. There is no indirect stream, but you can just see everything is getting connected with each other. So the real key to understand internet is the connection behind them. So yeah, now what I do, I connect it with a particular thing. When I say a particular thing, in the world of in the world of internet, it means a service provider. I need someone who helps me get connected to the internet. For in your case, if you're watching it in mobile right now, then undoubtedly the same which you have in your phone is your internet service provider. Right now, I'm watching in my laptop and I'm using a broadband. So in my case, the broadband service provider, which is again Airtel, is my internet service provider. So now I can see there is one main server branch which is connected to multiple small mini server branches, and throughout this mini server branches we create a whole range wide of network. And that's why we say WAN. Like whenever we see a wireless connection of so great strength, then we literally call it WAN. You guys have might like heard this word before. It literally means wide area network. So that when the internet is connected throughout the world through many places, this is basically called a wide area network. I'll even give you another word which is called LAN, local area network. You'll be like just thinking, if we are talking about web development, why do we need to understand the internet? You'll get the picture once we complete the session, and I'll tell you why internet is really, really important in order to understand um, web development and how things are going behind. Yeah. So the thing is, how is internet necessary for web development? We'll just come to know. So let's proceed with the brochure now. So yeah, this is something like I have to talk about a lot. You can see some 0 1 code here. Computer understands the binary code, right? And here we see a modem. Modem is basically known as a modulator or demodulator. What it does, it converts the analog signal into digital, and it converts this digital signal into analog. So yeah, like it's a really basic understanding that internet is nothing but connection of networks. Yo, so coming down to the services which you guys have already used, there is WhatsApp, apps, and a lot of things which you do use in your daily life. So starting with things like email, the web, file sharing, online gaming, streaming services. In this presentation, we will be presenting the website of it. So just so we'll be just focusing on the website, but you can do a hell lot of things on the internet, as you guys already know. So yeah. Oh wow, this is a really cool analogy. Matlab, I'm seeing this presentation 1 year later. So you guys, like, it takes me 1 or 2 seconds to recall why had I put this picture at this place. So yeah, we already know roads connect the cities, right? Suppose if I want to go from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I'll be using the road, right? And in the term, and yeah, so you can literally say the way we are getting connected right now, the way we are getting connected right now is through internet. Like, right, we are having an online conversation, an online teaching way, or an online session or whatever. So the thing is, like, as the road connects the places, the internet connects the computer. Like, it's the connection of networks, right? Just remember these three words: connection of networks. So this connection of networks helps us to establish the computer which are around the world to get connected at one place. I hope you understood what I meant in those lines, because those are really, really important. Now let's see a bit of transparency or difference between the internet and the web itself. So the internet, let me read it out: global network of interconnected computers that communicate via TCP/IP. Don't worry about that now. Network of networks. TCP, I'm not really clear about it, to be really honest, but IP is something like IP addresses. Okay, I talked about the roads, right? Suppose if you want to go, if you want to come to my place, if I tell you that I stay somewhere in Jharkhand, then you won't understand, right? So I need to give you a particular address. So the same way, IP address is something which all computers or devices which get connected to the internet have in order to give them the request response cycle. I'll talk about the request response cycle later, but right now you just need to understand the request response cycle is nothing but the connection itself. And the web is like uh, World Wide Web is a specific service or an information system where documents and other resources are available over internet. Like, web is just a particular part of internet. Like, you can do a hell lot of things on internet, like game development, game streaming, or whatever. Like, but World Wide Web is a really, really specific part of internet which mostly deal with web pages. Okay, so right now just remember that web is a subset of the internet. Okay, finally we come to the HTTP requests. A really cool thing to understand, actually. In order to understand the request response cycle, one thing which we need to understand is the web server itself. Why need to understand the web server? Let's speak about it. So guys, whenever we visit a site, may it be Reddit, may it be Twitter, may it be Facebook, may it be WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, to be honest, kind of site, your college website, your school website, whatever it is, we actually need to take an access from a server. I know it's not bit understandable, take access from a server, but I'll like tell you, don't worry. So what it does is whenever I like, I should show you a live example. Okay, Control T to have a new tab. And whenever I go to a site, so let the site be www dot, sorry, discord.com. So, okay, sorry, let me hide it. Yeah. So you'll see I got redirected to this website, redirected to a school website called Discord. What's happening behind the scene? If you go to your network tab, Control Shift I on a keyboard, and when you go to your network tab here, then you will see there are a hell lot of requests happening. Some kind of console things are, getting hidden back. Then some sources, like I'm getting some JavaScript codes into my website. If I go to my build files, then I'll see some JavaScript is coming into my website. Then when I go to my Webalizer, then again some JavaScript will be coming to my website, and which is helping this Webalizer extension actually. And then there are a hell lot of request file. There is this another dev tools files, which is, which we are able to access here. And the response is even like we are even getting a response file. And if we check the headers, then we see there's a request method here, then there is a request URL here. The request URL is this URL because we are accessing the dev tools here. I know this will be really daunting right now and you won't understand any part of it, but all I am doing is I'm trying to explain you that whatever we are seeing right now is nothing but we are accessing some specific information from the server itself. Okay. Don't worry, I'll be sending you this presentation too. So just don't worry about it. Just understand what I'm trying to say right now. So yeah, it's just that I'm making a request to www.discord.com, and web server is accepting my request and responding with www.discord.com. Mm, Like there's nothing else, but all I wanted you to tell about request response, which is really, really important, is this thing. If you want to create an analogy, I don't know how perfect it might be. You guys can help me to create an analogy because I love creating analogies like this. So yeah, we can just think of a baller who's bowling to the batsman, and the batsman is responding by hitting him a six. Lol.